It's your girl bringing you some news you can use. Sorry I'm a little late today, but we are live at the #1 internet radio station. I said the #1, yeah. IntellectualRadio.com. Let me say it for you one more time. IntellectualRadio.com. We got a great show for you today. I know that our president is acting like he done literally lost his mind. Just because he the president don't mean he just be doing all nilly-willy crazy stuff. Now, inquiring minds want to know, is his wife legal? Now, they told me, sources say allegedly, when she was doing her modeling over here, she only had a temporary visa. Now, I don't know if it's true or false. But if she don't have her paperwork in order, then how you gonna find somebody else and detain them when you ain't got your own household in order? Yeah, I said it. I'm not scared because I'm here at Intellectual Radio. So today we're gonna talk about customer service. I know everybody in America has dealt with customer service. You've dealt with good customer service and you've dealt with bad customer service. But you know, the cliche is the customer is always right. Now, do you agree with that? I want to hear from you. I want to hear if you think that the customer is always right. And then at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to entrepreneurs. So if you know someone that's an entrepreneur, you know, Facebook them, Instagram them, even tweet them and tell them to get tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com right now. Grab your favorite coffee, your drink, whatever floats your boat. You know, some of y'all like something a little bit stronger because it's in the afternoon. But if it works for you and you like it, guess what? I love it. So how much are you worth? How much should you charge customers, business owners, entrepreneurs? How much should you charge customers for your services, your product? How much should you charge? Should you charge too much or too less? What determines how much you should charge? You know, we have these friends and family members that want all of these discounts. They love your service. They love what you do until, whoops, you tell them they got to pay for it. Then they no longer think it's a good deal. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to clear the air today. So don't go nowhere. We are live, and my apologies for starting late, but we are live here at IntellectualRadio.com. Stay close. Matter of fact, stay very close. Back in a moment.
Hi, my name is Tina Olivia Payson. Listen to Making Waves with Miss Darci on IR and iHeart radio station, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you, Miss Darci.
Hey, this is Lenny Williams, and I enjoy listening to IntellectualRadio.com and Making Waves with Miss Darci.
It's a new year and the first anniversary of our revolutionary acne treatment. To celebrate, we have an amazing new offer for you. Order Proactive Plus, and for a special limited time, you'll pay just $19.95. Imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. Make it happen today with Proactive Plus.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactive Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactive Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactive Plus within the first week.
Now's the best time ever to order because we're offering extra savings to first-time customers. Call 1-800-773-5681 to get our 3-step system plus free gifts and free shipping. All just $19.95.
I use Proactive Plus every day. Like, I literally use this stuff.
It's a new year.
Just tuning in.
It's a new year.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in to Making Waves with Miss Darci, we broadcast live here every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your on-air host, Miss Darci D.
And I'm Khalil Scott.
So what we're going to talk about today, Khalil, do you think that Trump's wife is legal. Now, what would happen if America found out that she didn't have her visa? Her visa was expired. Would it be okay for her just because she is the first lady now? Would that be okay? And he's detaining people who have been living here.
I think it's definitely not okay because she's an American citizen just like everybody else is. So she should have the same opportunity and be treated the same way as an American citizen. She no special privileges just because you're the first lady.
Yeah. And so they're saying she was modeling back in 1996 and she worked illegally during her first few weeks here in the United States. The documents show she did 10 modeling jobs in the United States that netted her over 20,000 in 7 weeks. She had temporary legal permission to work in the country, according to sources, allegedly, and that she never went back to make sure all the paperwork was in order. So just because it was temporary, now I don't know a lot about the visas and the green cards and all that stuff. So they're saying that she received a green card, which is a temporary green card in 2001, but that she allegedly became a citizen in 2006 only because she married Trump, but that she didn't get the immigration status updated. So we don't know what's going on, but I feel that if she's not legal, she needs to make herself legal. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, she needs to be held accountable, just like Trump is holding everybody else accountable. And these are my opinions. They're not necessarily the opinions of IntellectualRadio.com or iHeart, but that's how I feel. If they have to, what's good for the gander got to be good for the goose. She shouldn't get any special favoritism. Do you think?
No, because if he wants to put all these laws on other ethnicities, he got, like you said earlier, you got to make sure your house is in order before you try to check somebody else's.
Right. And now what do you think about him halting all these people and detaining these 872 refugees from entering into the United States, saying that he's not letting them in, he's going to build this wall? So what do you think about that? I know they're protesting all over the United States. What is your opinion, coming from a young perspective? What do you think about this massive decision that he just blatantly made?
I think it's very wrong because it's like you're putting the blame on for terrorism on all of the Muslims, and you don't know if the terrorists are being homegrown into the country. And this country was built on immigrants coming in, so it's not right just to block off the Muslims.
And do you think that him doing this is going to have a triple effect and from a negative standpoint, or do you think it'll be a positive?
I think it is already showing it's going to be a negative. I know the Prime Minister from Canada is opening arms for refugees to come there. The UK doesn't like what he's doing, and also the countries that he put the ban on.
Yeah. So my heart and prayers go out to the individuals who are dealing with this. I can't even imagine what if that was someone that I knew or someone that I was close to and they were dealing with, something like this. I do want to bring the attention to a very close friend of mine. She's an amazing entrepreneur, mother, and she has a son who's 21 years old. She's the founder of Chicks That Pitch, and her son went missing 3 weeks ago. He resides in LA. And so we're going to try to get a picture up of him. She made an emotional plea yesterday on Facebook Live, asking if anybody know anybody in LA, if they could share the information, if they could repost the picture of her son. I can't even imagine. My son is 20. Oh, how old is my son? 28. He's getting ready to be 29. Oh my God, my son's getting ready to be 29. And I can't imagine going 3 weeks and not knowing where he is, even though he's an adult, just not knowing where he is. And she said they always communicate, and she hasn't spoken to him, and it's been 3 weeks. She filed the necessary paperwork to file a missing report. She's did everything, and no one, even the friends that normally hang with him, has said anything. And so we're going to try to get this picture up. I am going to post it on social media. He was last seen. He works at Lucky Brand, Beverly Hills. He has not shown up for work. He goes by the nickname. He's been missing since January 7th. He goes by the nickname Ski and Colby. And if you have any information, please call his mom, Erica Porter. Her number is 872-216-6307. Again, if you know anything about this young man, or if somebody knows him, or if you have connections in the Los Angeles area, please post her son's picture because he's missing, and he's been missing since the 7th of January. So I can't imagine what she's going through. And she did try to talk to us yesterday, and it was very difficult. That has to be very, very hard for her. So if anyone is watching today's show, please share the broadcast or go to Erica Porter's page and pull her son's pictures and repost them. Just like we post good news and bad news, we need your help, America, in locating her son, the return of her son. And I pray that she get the answer that she needs soon, because I can't imagine. She says she can't sleep, she can't eat, she can't even think. And I can't even imagine being a parent, what that would feel like when people are missing their children. So even though he's an adult, it's still her child. He's 21 years of age. I'm going to post this. We're going to take a pause. We're going to come back and talk about customer service, and it's the customer always right. You're tuned in to Making Waves with Ms. Darci on IntellectualRadio.com. Back in a moment.
American Express for travel and entertainment worldwide.
Just show them this, the American Express card.
Don't leave home without it.
Someday, I may even use it on the moon. It's a marvelous thing.
Oh! So you can replace plane tickets, traveler's checks, a lost card.
Really? That worked?
American Express's timeless safety and security are available on Apple Pay. The next evolution of membership is here.
Are bill collectors calling you? Are you afraid to answer the phone? Afraid of lawsuits, garnishments, losing your apartment, house, or car? Then call us for your debt relief options. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Chapter 7 or 13 can relieve the debt pressure. Call us now for a free phone mini consultation or log on to infotapes.com. We're the law firm you trust to get you out of debt.
1-800-401-4010.
It's 2 for $5 coming at you live.
Hey, sir, welcome to Burger King. How are you? See what he orders.
No pressure. All of America's watching.
Original chicken sandwich.
Big King! And the foul.
How are you going to lose when you mix and match?
Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for $5 only at Burger King.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugars. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on Dunkin'.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugars. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on Dunkin'.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about before the show that if you could go to Erica Porter's page, I am going to post it after the show. Her son is missing. He's 21 years old. He was last seen January 7th in the Los Angeles area. He goes by the name of Ski. And if anybody has seen him or have connections in LA, can you please contact his mom and, be on the lookout? He's African-American, 21. His height is 6'2". His weight is 170 pounds. He was last seen in the Hollywood area, and his employment was Lucky Brand in the Beverly Hills area. So if anybody has any information, please call his mom, Erica Porter. And again, her number is 872-216-6307. 872-216-6307. So today we're going to talk about customer service, and I know we could talk about this for hours. So Khalil, I know you're in the customer service industry too. I think we all are entered the customer service industry at some point or another. Mm-hmm. And before I delve into that, if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you, wishing you special on your special day, in the hopes it brings you all the heart your desires. Here's wishing you are full of pleasant surprises on your birthday, hoping you get everything you want and then some. So customer service, you know, they have that quote that the customer is always right. Now, I'm sure, Khalil, you can think of several situations where you had good customer service and you had poor customer service. So do you think, before we even ask you to give us an example, do you think the customer is always right?
Definitely no.
Why do you say no?
Because they know that they could take advantage of that, thinking that they're right and they could get us fired. But in actuality, in most cases, the management would stick up for you behind closed doors.
Okay. So give me an example that you've had where you've had good customer service.
When I used to work at Goodwill last summer, a customer, I was really good at helping him out, taking the donations out of his car and putting it into the bin and letting him know how everything works. And he gave me a $5 tip.
Oh, you won't forget that one, will you?
No.
So now give me an example of poor customer service.
Man, it was at Goodwill too. Someone was making a donation, but I had a long line and he had to wait in the line. So instead of him waiting for me to come over and bring the bin to his car so he could put his donations in there, he just went up to the front and grabbed his own bin and started putting his stuff in there. And then as I was helping the other lady, he's like, I need help. And I'm like, hold on, she was here first. I have to help her. And then I heard him whisper, well, F you, you SOB.
Oh my God. Only because you didn't stop to help him and other people were in front of him?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that was horrible customer service. But you maintained your cool though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I can think of a lot because I'm very talkative, but I'm just going to give an example of good customer service. I frequent Panera Bread a lot because I love their cream of chicken soup, and they have a sandwich, and they have this thing called a kiosk where if you use that, they say it's faster. But I've never used that, and I had a coupon for $5 off of my order. Now, you know I love a good deal, so I'm trying to take advantage. So I decided not to use the kiosk because I had never used it, and I stood in line, and she was saying, well, you can't get the $5 off unless you use the kiosk. Now, I didn't know this, so I'm immediately saying, what you talking about? So she says, I will help you, because I'm looking like I don't know how to work this. I'm trying to be in and out. So she took time to come over and help me. And then she asked another person that worked there to open up another register. And she walked me through the entire process to make sure that I understood how to operate the kiosk, because I frequent there a lot. And so she wanted to make sure I understood. She didn't rush me. She was very polite. Tone was the same way from beginning to end. And I commended her, for doing that. When I went back the next time, I made a little goodie bag with some little samples and I gave it to her. I just think even when I'm on the phone and you call and you be on hold and you pushing buttons and you going through mazes, because now you think you could press 1 or 0 and get somebody. Now they got smart. You have to press 9 on some places to get the operator, or 6, so it's not 1 or 0 anymore. And by the time you get somebody, you be so frustrated, and the person that's on the other end is not really their fault. So you really have to watch. But when people are really, really nice and they go over and beyond, I like to say thank you or get their information and write a thank you letter and send it via email, because they go through a lot. Because everybody is not going to be nice like we may be. They, like you said, the guy cussed out. The people going to get cussed out. They get hung up on. They get talked about, and they're just trying to maintain their job. So that's good. But then an example of poor customer service, and it's always usually around the holidays when you're there to take something back. Never go the day after. Matter of fact, you should just wait a week before you go to return anything or exchange a Christmas gift. Everybody is in a hurry. And this lady walked up to me. I've been in this line for at least 10 minutes. And she said, do you mind if I get in front of you? Because I got somewhere to go. What? Where they do that at? I was like, well, ma'am, I got somewhere to go too. She looked at me. She said, where do you have to go? Now, I don't know this woman. First of all, I ain't got to tell you where I got to go. And second of all, how dare you ask me, can you get in front of me? You got all these people standing here, but you want to get in front of me. Now, there were 2 people in front of me to get in the customer service, to be waited on next. I was at TJ Maxx in Oak Brook. So she was like, no, I'm serious. I said, yeah, I do mind. So when the light beat and I was next, she darted out. Okay. I'm looking at this lady like, I know she didn't. So the lady behind the counter, she was like, Miss Redmond, we know you coming. Do you mind? I said, yeah, I was going to just let it go. But I'm like, yeah, man. She'd already asked me and I told her no. But as soon as the light blinked, she just take off. I was like, no, you're going to have to wait. And I didn't have nowhere to go, but you're going to have, it's the principle for me.
Yeah.
So then the other cashier next to her, she was like, that was just rude. You should, I'm like, who are you? You ain't even got nothing to do with this conversation. I started to report her, but I know she probably need a job. So I just let it go. And to me, even though, like you said, people tend to use the customer is always right. They like to use that cliche. Good customer service determines if you are right. You could be wrong, but it's how you handle a situation for me. So, but good customer service goes a long way in a person's business. So if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, then you want to try to diffuse the situation. You want to be professional. You want to use the right tone. In customer service, where you're in a retail, it's even harder because people will try you. They will go off on you, and certain things are just really beyond your control. You just there to ring them up and get them out, but they get all the backlash from anything else that management is supposed to do. Sometimes management won't even come out because they don't want to have to deal with it. So I think that customer service is a great job, but everybody is not cut out for customer service. Some people are good at customer service and some people are just not cut out. They're there to make some money. And if things don't go right, they're ready to go toe to toe with you. So I don't think that when you say a customer is always right, I don't think that's necessarily the case. When you're answering the phone, when you're forwarding a call, when you're leaving a voicemail, you want it to get a response back. You're going to have to use empathy, because if you calling somebody and you going off on them and saying they better call you back by this time or they better do this, you may not even get a call back. And now your situation has erupted and you still haven't got anything resolved. So, and then if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, you should not make promises that you can't keep. Sometimes people, just to keep the customer, they'll promise to do this and promise to do that, and then they don't fulfill that. So I would always try to say, we'll see what we can do. You want the customer at the end of the day, but if you make a promise that you cannot keep, then that, to me, that all that problem does is escalate. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the problem escalates, and I know one of the big problems with customer service is that when something doesn't go their way, they like to say, "Well, I'm not coming here anymore."
Yeah,
and it's like that. It doesn't bother me as an employee that you won't come here anymore. That actually makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah. And that's like playing the old card. They that's the first thing they'll say. But when a person if it's a big store, it's a little different because they have a large clientele. But if it's a small business owner or a small business, or they're just starting out, that one person can go and destroy that person's business. So of course you want to try to do what you can to keep that individual, right? But you don't want to go against your ethics. You don't want to go against your ethics. You don't want to say, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. And you know the customer is wrong. You want to try to diffuse the situation, but it's the wording to me that you use. Because if you tell the customer that they are right and you know in your heart that they are wrong, they're going to play that card every time to get what they want, whether it's 10% off or a discount or whatever you're going to give them. So you have to listen to your customers, but you also have to be prepared to deal with complaints, because with business, it's going to come with complaints. They could have a bad day. They can be upset with something that happened at home, and you're the first person they see, and everything is going to be taken out on you, and you don't know what is going on, but you are the target, right? Have you ever had that where you wake up and everybody is attacking you and you like, wait a minute, let me go back and come back in, where you ain't did nothing, but everything is Khalil. And you like, wait a minute, I wasn't even there. But because you're the first person they see, all their frustrations is bouncing off on you. Have you had that happen before?
Yeah, I had that happen to me at Goodwill again, where I was the one who was closing at night and some other person didn't do their job, and the manager came in and wanted to put all the blame on me. And I was like, wait, hold up. that wasn't my responsibility. I'm responsible for what happens in the back, not the front. I finished my job.
Mm-hmm. So it like tripled.
Yeah.
It's like a trickle effect. Even though you're not responsible, they got to find somebody to blame. Instead of going to the person who caused the situation to escalate, they're not there, but you are. So you become the victim, right? You just automatically become the victim. Then we also want to be helpful to people. We want our businesses to grow. We want retail to grow wherever we are. We want it to grow, but we just have to be mindful that we're training our employees or our interns or our staffs the correct way on how they would handle the situation. Sometimes it don't always go that way because I'm the type of person, I don't want nobody cursing at me. And as soon as somebody curses at me, I shut down. And then if they keep on cursing, then another side of me will come out. It will appear. Another person will appear. And it's not a cute person, but it will appear. So I try to either walk away or remove myself from that situation because I don't want nobody cursing at me because I'm not going to curse at nobody else. Sometimes we as business owners or entrepreneurs have to take the extra step to keep the customer so that they can send referrals because businesses run on good referrals, just like good news travels, so does bad news. Sometimes we may have to throw something in a little extra for a customer if they didn't get what they want, or if you are a printing company and the flyers or business cards didn't come out the way they wanted it to, then you may have to do something to keep that customer because that may be a customer who spends a lot of money every month. And so that's the person that keep your lights on or keep your doors open. So sometimes we have to show empathy and sometimes we have to bite the bullet and just let it go, even though we know in our heart that we are right and we're doing the right thing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to do that. A lot of things too is how we answer the phone. Have you ever called a retailer or a business or a utility company and they answer the phone like they really don't want to be bothered, like they irritated that you calling them and you keeping them and you helping them stay employed because you paying your bill, which is why they're there. And they're like, how can I help you? No, we don't do that. Next, anything else? Okay, well, thank you for calling. And you'd be like, well, wait a minute. So they're not really there to offer good customer service. They here to get that check on the 10th, the 12th, the 20th, or whenever it comes in. So we just have to be careful when customer service comes into play. I do not think that the customer is always right. They said that there are a lot of instances where we have to bite the bullet or swallow our pride and let the customer always be right. And sometimes we do. It just depends. For me, it depends on the situation. I want the clientele. However, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm providing good quality work, the customer is satisfied, and that they send referrals. Sometimes you have to be careful because sometimes people will try you just to get something free or just to keep getting repeated discounts. You know, they may say, well, Khalil, I asked for this logo and I only wanted it red and blue and I didn't want any white in it or any yellow. And you say, well, no, I asked you if you wanted 2 colors or 3 and you said 3. No, I didn't tell you that, Khalil. So now it's your word against the customers, but they're ordering 10,000 whatever a month. So of course you want to maintain them, but you have to find a way to be right, but ease their conscience and kind of make it work. But if the same mistake is being made over by them because they don't like the way it looks, then you may have to do something different because now it's going to cost you more money to keep sending it back to the printer with that large quantity, right? So the customer ain't going to continue to be right and you're going to continue to be wrong and you know what you heard, but you spending money to have stuff constantly reprinted for the same customer. How would you handle that?
With situations like that, I'm comparing it to when I worked retail in Goodwill, where if like something was overpriced and they didn't think it was the right price, I would go talk to my manager, and most of the time, my manager would just see how concerned the customer was. If he was really upset, he might just give him a discount just so he could be quiet and so he could continue shopping here and won't be so upset anymore.
Okay. That's a good way to handle it. So we're going to take a pause for the calls. We're going to come back quickly and we're going to close out with charge what you're worth. So how do you price the value on your product or service and get your clients to say that, yes, you are worth it and that I will pay the price that you quoted me for my product, service, or brand? You're tuned into IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeart radio station where we're guaranteed to feed your brain. Back in a moment. You're tuned in to Making Waves with Miss Darcy, broadcasting live every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. We just finished up talking about customer service and if the customer is always right. So now we're going to briefly talk about charging what you worth. How do you determine how much you should charge for your product, service, or time? Because it is your time, and time is money, and so money is time. So how do you price your services to attract new customers and clients so that you make a profit so that you stay in business? What do you think about that, Khalil?
How many hours it takes you to actually accomplish the job and the quality that you're putting out. I think of it as when you go to see a mechanic, they charge you by how many hours of labor they do and the quality of the product they're putting in.
That's a great example. That's a great example because you can go to a mechanic and get a price on putting on brake pads and they may quote you $250. Then you go down the street to a mechanic and they may say $275. Then you may go to an alley mechanic. He say, you bring me all the parts, I'll do it for $100. Right? So now you got to decide between those three, who has the most experience, who's going to do the job in a professional and timely manner so that you don't have to come back. So out of those three, besides seeing who's the best or who's the expert, what will be your determining factor to decide whether you're going to go get the parts and get the alley mechanic to do it for $100. You're going to go down the street to AutoZone and pay $250, or you're going to go down the street to another place and pay $275. What would be your deal breaker and your determining factor to choose which one? How would you choose?
I would ask them how much experience they have with building cars, and whoever has the longest experience, I'll probably end up going to that person because they probably obviously know a little more about cars.
Now, would cost matter? If they said we need to keep your car a whole day, somebody said you be here at 7, we'll have it done at 9. Would having a car an extended period of time matter versus the cost, or both?
Yes, that would matter too because we all have things that we got to do and go to work.
So it's a process of elimination, determining what you got to do that week. They say, I got to have your car for a whole day. Then you'd be like, well, okay, I got to get to work. I got to get home. I get somebody to drive me to drop it off. I get somebody to take me to pick it up. And how can I make this happen? Or is somebody going to charge you a little bit more money? They say, well, you can get it here by 7. We'll have you out by 9:30. So you might be willing to pay a little bit more because it's taking less time. And now you could just drive there and sit versus getting somebody to take you and then somebody to come and get you and take you back to pick up the car, right? So sometimes we have to leverage it out to see what works. And that's kind of the same thing with charging for your service. First of all, a person want to know how much experience you have. They may ask for referrals. They may see if you have a website, if you're registered with the Better Business Bureau or the Attorney General's office, if you have any complaints, what is the turnaround time for whatever service. It could be typing or whatever, consultation, whatever. If you have everything that person needs to start the job, because remember, time will start once, if you got a checklist and you need 5 things and they only got 2, you can't start it, right? So the time wouldn't actually start until you have all 5 things. Then if they got to pay a deposit or a portion down, all that has to be put into play. And then you need to have a contract. The contract needs to state what you're going to do for this price and how long it's going to take you, like a timeline. And the balance, if they're just putting a deposit down, the balance has to be paid at the end of completion of this assignment. The balance is not paid by X amount of days, then your deposit is null and void, or however you want to do it. But you want to make sure that both of you all are in agreement and that both of you all are sign off on it. Would you ever perform a service for someone without a contract?
No.
Why not?
Because there's ways that they can get around actually completing the job to the standards that you want it.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you put money down and then you say, well, I'll have it done in 2 weeks. And they said, no, you said a week. And you say, no, I didn't. But if you got it in writing, there's nothing else to talk about. See, I watch too much court TV. Judge Mathis be like, if it ain't in writing, it's a done deal. If this is what it said in writing and you didn't honor it, you can't change unless you have another written agreement. It can't be verbal. So you learn a lot from the court shows. It's not just watching the court shows, but you get to learn on how to practice certain things in everyday life, because court shows is actually reality. It ain't made up. It's what happens in everyday life. So I agree with you. You want to make sure that everything is right. And I wouldn't do business with anyone without a contract, especially if it's a friend or a family member, because it could escalate. And I just think for good business, if you have it in writing and both people read it and they understand it, then there shouldn't be no misunderstandings, right?
All right.
It shouldn't be no. But see, we have so many. That's why we got all these court TVs, because people are not getting things in writing, and then it escalates because you may think one thing and I may think something else. And then when I pay you my money, you said, nope, that's not what I interpret you to say. And then that's when the argument back and forth goes. But if you got it in black and white and I signed off on it and put the date on it, and you signed off and put the date on it, it's nothing else to discuss, right? Because it's done. Only this discussion would be if I didn't fill up to my obligation or if you didn't fulfill your obligations, right? Then it goes to the next level. So we as individuals or entrepreneurs, or you think about being an entrepreneur, always get it in writing. And you want to make sure that you're not undercharging, which a lot of people do, but you also you don't want to overcharge. So just because you see a lawyer that charged $2,500 for a retainer, and you just coming out of law school with no experience, you can't charge $2,500, because that's based on his experience, his professionalism, and you're just starting. So you have to see what you could charge at that level, right? And you know too, just like when you went to media school, most companies will not hire you in radio and TV unless you have hands-on experience. Well, now you have experience. So when you go, then you have that as leverage. But if you were just graduating from Illinois Media School and you had no experience, do you think you could go into a regular radio station or a TV station and say, I want this amount per hour and I want this much airtime, and you just graduating with no experience?
No, they told us to not expect to get paid very much. You'll probably need a second job because they might start you off at minimum wage.
Yeah. And now, do you think that's right or wrong?
I think it's right, because you have to build up your reputation, and you're a rookie to the game. You got to get more experience. And
you just starting out, so you really have to really learn it. They've taught you what it's about, but now you have to actually go in and do it. Right? So that's easier than learning, taking a test, answering a question, being on time, never late. But when you have to go and pick up a cord, or go and make sure the mic is working, or make sure I can't think of the name of that, make sure the board is working and all that, answer the phone and do multitasking at one time, then it's a little different, because now everything that you learned, you're putting into action. And so once they see that you can do that, then the pay rate will start to go up the scale, right? And then we have to understand, which I had to learn too as an entrepreneur, is how to price the value on the service that I provide, and then understanding what the clients need versus what they want, because they can want the sky, but maybe the services they need, you can curtail it just to fit what they need for them. When you cater it to just what they, or customize it for them, then it's about you making money, but it's about you helping them fulfill their problem or their need. Now they become dependent on you for service. Just like if you're a consultant, or you're a leadership coach or a life coach, your job is to help that individual find out what they're good at, what they need help with, be their accountability partner, put things in writing, and then help them reach it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you don't know what they want and you just keep sending them a bill every 2 weeks, they're probably not going to stay with you or re-sign up with you, because they haven't gotten anything out of the service. So you just can't be, quote, an entrepreneur and charging outlandish prices when you're not fulfilling the need of the customer or client. And a lot of people do that because they say, well, I got to make a living, I got to survive. But what are you giving? You're charging, but what is the person that on the receiving end getting? Because if they're not getting nothing, they're not going to give you no referral, and they're not coming back, right? Just like if you get somebody poor customer service in a shop, or you fill up gas, or you go to a bakery or restaurant and they get poor service, they're not coming back 9 times out of 10 unless you compensate them for the poor treatment or poor customer service. Am I right?
Right.
So that's the same thing with people when you're an entrepreneur or a business owner. We have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to post this today. I thought it was very helpful on things you should ask yourself when you're deciding on what your price should be for a product, service, or brand. And it also depends on your experience, how much clientele you have, and how much skin you've had in the game. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today to Making Waves with Ms. Darci and talking about customer service. If Mrs. is the First Lady Trump actually legal here, we will find that out because it will unravel. Trust me. I'm not sure if our president will be impeached. He's making a lot of enemies, but we will find out what's going on with him and how much longer he's going to be the president of the United States. And word has it, he's still not in the White House. So this is a first where you have a president that does not reside in Washington and at the White House. Wow, only in America. So I want to thank all my listeners. Please share the broadcast so people that are working in customer service can get some tips and nuggets. If you are an entrepreneur or business owner or soon to be entrepreneur or business owner, or you have little gigs on the side and you want to know how much you should charge, please tune in and share the broadcast. I'm going to also be posting on my business and leadership page this information, which I think will be very helpful for me as well as other individuals. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Intellectual Radio has several shows. Tune in and find out what each of the hosts here have to say. We're all unique in our own way, and we all bring something good to the table. So I'm going to thank Super Producer because I know he just adores me. He wants me to stay on for another half an hour, but I do have other things I have to do. And I want to say congratulations to Brandy Love, who won the camcorder. So I will be borrowing it, sister girlfriend, but congratulations to you. And I can't wait to see what Earl has to offer us for the month of February, because that is my birthday month and it is Valentine's Day month. So in closing, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Please share the broadcast, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. And that would be me. And we're out.